How's everyone doing today? Hope you're all doing well. I had a friend recently reach out to me and ask me about my shipping on both Amazon and eBay, and he was very curious at how it worked. And instead of answering him, I decided to make this video. Now, we'll go over both of them, but we're gonna solely focus on selling items like video games on Amazon and eBay, and we're not really gonna go into much else just in this video. Now, mainly because I feel like it's way too complicated to do everything in one video. But most of these apply to the same thing. But again, I'm just gonna show off what I do for video games on both the platforms. Now, when you're sending things into Amazon for the FBA program, the best way to do it is send it in big bulk. So for example, we'll go with this batch of Call of Duty Black Ops. Now I have other ones that are available too, but I just grabbed the small stack of this particular game. Hopefully you don't hear my furnace because it's just turned on. But if you notice that these games are in bags, we'll go over that right now. For most items on Amazon, they do require some prep. Now, it varies depending on what item it is, but for video games and DVDs, physical media alike, they require certain things. For starters, it needs to be in some kind of bag, some kind of poly bag like this. Now, the reason why I got this bag over the other ones is that this one already has the suffocation warning that is required by Amazon. Physical media is required to have some kind of suffocation warning on it, just in case it gets to the hands of small children. There are some bags that don't have any warning on it, and then you can just slap a logo on it, a warning on it. I don't like to do that. I don't want to mess with it. This one already has it on it, and I've been sending it to Amazon this way for a while now. Now, if you look at my placement, that's kind of where the two places differ. So for the warning label, I put it in the front of the game. Again, it's still on the game itself with the adhesive down on the front of the game. On the back of the game, I want to make sure that it's completely clear, especially that SKU code. Now, so for Amazon to actually work, it needs to have the SKU code from the factory of this specific game. It needs to be covered up with their custom SKU that Amazon is going to scan it into system and scan it out of system once the product sells. Once the product comes in, it scans into system, and when it comes out, it scans out of system. Again, using this barcode that is provided to you when you tell Amazon, hey, I'm gonna ship in X amount of these items. So again, just to clarify this one, warning label on the front, back is completely clear with the custom SKU that they give you is on the back. Now again, keep in mind that those poly bags are required for Amazon. For eBay, I still like to do it, and I like to get in the habit of doing it, but I'll keep the front in full art. The suffocation warning is still on the back, and I don't really care about the SKU because it's not necessary. For single video games, I put them in a bubble mailer like so, and I'll put them in the back. If I get an order on eBay, I put it immediately right into the poly bag. After I put it into the bag, I like to put a couple stickers of various gaming titles. So for this one right here, it's Psyduck. We also have the Resistance Stormtrooper logo in there. And then we have random Japanese ones as well, such as a goldfish in a bag. Now I have a wide variety of different stickers. These are just kind of random things that I put in there. On bigger orders, I have seen people do candy. Don't know how I feel about that. I probably will never do that. And then also just a little thank you card for buying the purchase. And that's it. After that, I'll tape it up, and then I'll put it into one of these bubble mailers. Now here's where things differ. If I'm shipping to the States, no matter what, it is cheaper and obviously more effective to put track. So I'm going to use this as a reference. This is just the example that they give you on the Canada Post website, and then I blurred it out. Regardless, if I'm shipping to the States, I ship with tracking no matter what. Now for Canada, I can still ship with tracking if the customer would like. However, with orders under $40, I feel like most people aren't willing to do that. So again, if they decide not to do that, I can ship for a cheaper rate inside of Canada, and I just put their address on there. There is no insurance on if it's tracked like this, so I can't guarantee that the item will get there. However, on some items that are like $4 or $5, you don't want to be spending more or sometimes double on the tracking than you do want the item. Most of these items are tracked up to like $100, and if they are required more, so for example, if an item, let's say, comes up to $150, I will actually put it into a box where it's tracked, I think up to $500, and then the label is put on there as well. For other smaller items such as games as well, I do the exact same thing. I still put it in the game size poly bag. I don't buy many that are smaller than those. I simply don't buy poly bags that are smaller than game cases because I won't use them. for the quantity that they sell them at, I will not use that many. So for the handhelds that I do send in, or Amazon or eBay, I still put them in these poly bags, and I will slap the SKU on top here. Now for shipping inside of Canada, it is really nice. I got this drawn up by one of the customer representatives at the Canada Post drop-off. And because the package is under, so because the package for a game, a single game, is under 20 millimeters, the package is actually considered oversized letter mail. Now what that means is that it's going to be a letter, something like this, but it's oversized, usually for bigger documents and whatever else. However, in our case, video games ship through there perfectly, and I've had no issues whatsoever. Now, for bigger items, I ship in boxes, and boxes will always have bubble wrap, and they will always have tracking. I do not do like one without the other. So if it's in a box, it automatically comes with tracking. Now, you probably haven't noticed on my desk, I will use this Wild Coyote as an example. I found this at a thrift store and I bought it immediately. I love the Wild Coyote and the Roadrunner, probably some of my favorite things growing up as a kid. So let's say I was shooting at this, for example. I would find a box about yay big, because it's just like the perfect size, and I would cover him in bubble wrap. Once he's covered in bubble wrap, I would put the shipping sticker on the top, as well as a fragile sticker on the side. If it's fragile at all, even for video games, I put it on. This is me doing my due diligence and the best of my abilities to tell the supplier, hey, can you be a little more careful, even though they probably don't read it. Now, with that in mind, that's for single items. There's a couple other things too, like I have these smaller ones for smaller items, and both shipping labels fit perfectly on these smaller guys. But no matter what, when I'm shipping to the States, I have to clear customs. So after the game is inside the package, and again, this is an order that's going out today, so I want to be a little more careful with this, but after the item is in the package, I will grab a ruler and measure the actual package. And that's the first thing I do, and the reason being as I measure it is sometimes these bubble mailers, because they're made in such bulk, they're made a little differently. So I like to measure it to make sure that they are the same size. Now I use that as an example because there was a time where I shipped the exact same game but to different people, and they were different sizes using the same bubble mailer. Don't know why, they're slightly off, but it is what it is. Or if I'm shipping things like a PlayStation 3 game, they're different sizes from the 360. Nonetheless, I still size it up. After I size it up, it goes on the scaler so I can punch it into customs. I don't mess with customs, always round up. Even if you pay a little bit more, always round up. And then I guess the last thing I can say for individual items when it comes to like labels is I do have a battery one. So if there's, you know, I did a video last week about plug and plays. Those have batteries in them. I do remove them, but I still put the sticker on there just to be sure. Yeah, I don't know where the actual label is. I moved a lot of things around in here and I don't remember where I put it. I will eventually find it, but at the time I don't have the actual label. Now when it comes to the actual batteries as well, one thing to note is that when you're going to the States, you're allowed X amount of AA's, I believe, before you have to put the sticker on it. Inside of Canada, you always have to put the sticker on it. But nonetheless, I always put the sticker on it if it had batteries in it at some point. If I sold a console, there is a little CMOS battery, I will still put it on there. If it's a handheld, put the battery on there. If it's a plug and play with the batteries out, I will still put the battery on there. Or I'll still put the label on there. No matter what, if it had batteries at some point or it still uses batteries, I will put the label on there. I don't like to mess with this kind of stuff. Put it on there. The label is literally pennies. And to my knowledge, they don't do any extra checking. As long as they know what it is, you put the sticker on it, they're usually fine with it. Now, for bigger items, and this is usually the same no matter what, if it's Amazon or eBay, you have to get a box, a big boy box. So I got this one right here, that's their Uline. And if you look in it, I have some games. Now, I'm not gonna send them into Amazon just like this. Whenever I send games in anywhere, I layer in bubble wrap, both in the bottom and the sides, just to ensure that it gets there properly. Bubble wrap is cheap. Don't cheap out on shipping. It's fine. If the order is from Amazon or eBay, I like to print out a little inventory sheet of what the customer is getting. Whether that's just like a single item or multiple items, I like to put it out and then put it inside the box, just on top. So over here, I just want to go over my printing setup, and I want to change it a little bit, and we'll go over that. So over here, we just have a normal printer, a normal household printer that I use to print off inventory sheets. As well as, like, you know, whatever else I need to print off, but that's really what I just use this for. It's a scanner as well, but nothing else is really necessary. It's just a normal printer. Next, right here, we have the thermal printer that is used for almost everything. This is using 4x6 thermal paper, as you can see in the back here. And I use this for printing off shipping labels and all the organization stickers that you have that you've seen probably in other videos, because it's really important to keep everything organized. And these 4x6s are usually pretty big, and they're big enough to keep everything visible. Now, unfortunately, where I want to change this setup is right now I have 3 printers. I'm trying to get 4, and it's mainly so I can use, I don't have to switch out the 4x6s with these 2x1s every time. These are the SKU sizes that I use for Amazon, and switching it out between these two every single time is very annoying, especially when the rolls are different sizes. And yeah, I don't know, switching it out between these two are very complicated, and really there's no way of saving the presets, especially when it's connected to my iMac. There's no software for these printers on the iMac or on Mac OS, so unfortunately I have to resize it every time. Now, is it doable? Yes. Is it a pain? Absolutely. So if I can get like another printer alongside of this one, would be ideal. Now, I also have this little guy right here. This little guy is huge in many ways. And what it mainly is used for now is little things like this. So for example, this is a local pickup that's going to be happening where it's 2 Game Boy Advance games, and I just wrote the customer's name on the back of it, mainly because it's a lot easier, so I know I have a bin of customer orders that are need to be shipped out through the mail, again single items through eBay, and then I also have local pickups also in that box. So when I know that Marissa is coming to pick up her 2 GBA games, I'll just look in that box under my desk, and then I'll just pick that out for her. I also use it to organize my stock too, so we'll take the Sims 2 game for example on the PlayStation 2. The game has no manual, and when it's on a big shelf like this, how would I know? Well, I just print off a little logo right there. It just says missing manual. So when it's on a shelf, if there's multiple Sims 2 games right beside it, I know that this one right here is missing the manual. So I think that's gonna be it for this video. If you guys did enjoy, please make sure you like and comment. Was this video helpful at all? If it wasn't, then I'm glad you stuck around this long. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. I have a lot more content coming, both reselling and haul videos. The haul videos are gonna be completely insane in the next little bit, and I'm so excited to share it. So if you guys did enjoy, please make sure you like, and I will see you guys in the next video. Deuces.